So I just came across this crazy hidden niche. The first channel I found is called Tales AI. They've got around 400,000 subscribers after uploading just 65 videos. And when I check their total views, they're sitting at about 295 million, which is honestly insane. Then I found another channel in the exact same niche that posts long-form versions of the same kind of content. And here's the thing. All they post are 3D Pixar-style animations, both long-form and short-form, and it's blowing up like crazy. Now, a channel like this could realistically pull an average RPM of around $4. And in this full course, I'm going to guide you through how to build your own Pixar animated channel from scratch. And as a bonus, I'm going to show you how to use Cadencia 2.0 and Claude to automate the entire process. Okay, so first things first, you're going to need to sign up on Claude. Just create an account there. And don't worry, the free version is more than enough. Once you've got your account ready, just click the link in the description to access the master prompt. Alright, so when you open up the Google Doc, here's what you're going to do. Copy everything inside the master prompt, make sure you grab all of it, then paste it straight into Claude and just hit send. Once you do that, Claude's going to start asking you a few questions, like who you want the main character to be, what kind of visual style you want, the setting, the location, the actions, stuff like that. And yeah, these are all things you just choose yourself. It's very simple. So here's where you just fill everything in. Give your character a name, pick the style you're going for, choose the location, the mood, all that good stuff. Just go through it and answer each part. Once you're done, send it back to Claude. And real quick, if you haven't already, make sure you've clicked the link in the description to get access to the master prompt. Alright, so from here, you've got two ways to go about it. You can either type your answers straight into the template, or you can do what I did. Fill everything out in the Google Doc first, then paste it in and send it. Once you hit send, Claude's going to give you a full scene breakdown plus all the image prompts for each shot. Pretty much everything you need to bring your Pixar-style story to life. Now, if there's anything you want to change, you can just tell the chatbot and it'll adjust it for you. It's pretty flexible. Like for me, my character started off as a panda, but I changed my mind and made it a bear, and it updated everything instantly. Alright, so now that you've got all your prompts ready, the next thing you're going to do is find a platform that lets you turn these images into actual videos. And for this, we're going to use OpenArt. The reason I love OpenArt for a project like this is because it basically acts like an AI library. You've got image models, video models, pretty much every top-tier tool you'd ever want, all sitting in one place. And honestly, with Cadencia 2.0 just launching on there, it's kind of the perfect fit for what we're doing today. So just head over to OpenArt, sign up, and once you're in, you'll land on an interface that looks like this. What you want to do first is click on Image, then click on Create Image, and that'll take you to the generation screen. From there, hit the Model option up top, and a little pop-up shows you everything available. Nano Banana 2, Nano Banana Pro, Cadencia 5.0, Grok, a whole bunch of others. For this project, I'm going with Nano Banana Pro. Now I'll jump over to Claude real quick and grab my first prompt. The first thing I want to do is bring my main character to life, and for this project, that's a bear. So I'll copy that first prompt, paste it into OpenArt, set the aspect ratio to 16:9 landscape, bump the resolution up to 2K, and flip on auto polish just to make sure the output comes out clean. Then click Create. Couple seconds later, there's our bear. This is our main character, and honestly, it came out looking great, so I'm just going to download it. Then I'll head back to Claude, copy the Shot 1 prompt, paste it into OpenArt, and generate. Another couple seconds, and we've got our first shot. Download that as well. Now here's where things get interesting. For shot 2, we need to make sure our bear actually looks like our bear. Same character, same outfit, same everything. So this time, before I generate, I'm going to click the Image Reference option, and that lets me pick a character to anchor the shot to. I'll select the bear I generated earlier because if you read the prompt, you'll see the bear is clearly mentioned in the script.
hitting generate, and sure enough, the output comes back showing our character's feet walking into frame, and you can even see the lower half of his outfit carried over from the reference. That's exactly why referencing matters. If your character is going to show up in multiple shots, you have to give the model something to lock onto.
Otherwise, consistency falls apart fast. All right, moving on. Back to Claude. Scroll down to prompt 3, which says, Bear arrives at camp. Same deal. Tag the character, copy the prompt, paste into OpenArt, generate, and from here, you're just repeating this exact process over and over until you've generated every image you need. You're aiming for around 20 to 25 scenes total. That's roughly how many you need for a full animation. Okay, so after a few minutes, I've finished generating every single image for my Pixel movie. Now it's time to animate them and actually bring this thing to life. And for that, we're staying right here in OpenArt. Just click the video option right above image, and the whole interface switches over. Now you've got a video model library, Kling 3.0, VO3, a bunch of others, but for this tutorial, we're going with Seedance 2.0. And let me take a second to explain why, because this is the part that really matters. Seedance 2.0 isn't just another AI video model. It's actually built for storytelling. You get real character consistency across shots, so your bear looks like your bear in every single clip. It handles multi-character scenes without falling apart. It gives you better motion and physics preservation, so movement actually looks natural. A really high first-try success rate, plus reference-based generation that actually keeps faces and characters consistent. Alright, so with Seedance 2.0 selected, I'll grab one of my generated images and drag it onto the start frame. Then I'll hop back to Claude, scroll to the animation prompt section, copy prompt 1, and paste it into OpenArt. Flip on the audio on model, set the output to 16:9, bump the duration to 7 seconds, and send it. A couple seconds later, we've got our first animated clip. Download it and repeat. Drag the next image into the start frame, grab the next prompt from Claude, paste it into Seedance, generate, another output comes back, and right away you can hear the audio's in sync. Everything's moving naturally. And then on the next one, this one's pretty impressive. Seedance actually handled a full multi-shot sequence, fitting 5 separate shots into a 9-second clip. Our bear walks in, the camera zooms in on the people's faces, cuts between characters, and the whole thing stays consistent across every single shot. The audio lands, the lip sync is clean, the transitions feel cinematic. That's the multi-shot storytelling feature in action. And honestly, that's the part that makes this model feel different from everything else out there. From here, you're just repeating this exact process for every scene. Copy the prompt, drag the image, generate, download, repeat. And the great thing is, with Seedance, you barely even have to regenerate. It nails the output on the first try most of the time. Now, Seedance 2.0 is 60% off on OpenArt, and WonderPlan users have 2 weeks unlimited access. Now, once all your videos are done, download every single one, and we'll move on to generating the background track for this project. Alright, so for the music part, I'm going to use Music GPT, but I need some solid prompts first, so I'm just going to head back to Claude and ask it to generate them for me. I'll tell it something like, hey, I need really detailed text-to-music prompts I can use with Suno AI to generate the perfect track for this project. Give me 4 different versions and make sure the word count is optimized. Once you send that, Claude's going to give you a bunch of prompts you can use to generate tracks that actually fit your project properly. Alright, so after a few seconds, you'll see Claude gives you all the prompts you need to create the perfect track. From here, just copy the first one, head over to Music GPT, paste it in, and hit generate. Now, you can definitely use Puno AI if you want. I'm just trying out some new tools, and honestly, Music GPT really stood out to me. Once you send the prompt, give it a couple seconds, and you'll have a track that sounds something like this. So once the track sounds good to you, just download it. That's pretty much it for the music. Now, let's move on to editing. We're going to use CapCut for this, and honestly, it's super simple. We're just putting a few things together, nothing too crazy.
CapCut's really beginner-friendly, so you'll be fine. Once you open it up and create a new project, you should see an interface that looks like this. Now, once you open CapCut, here's what I usually do. I import the folder that has all my files in it. I like keeping everything in one place, so it just makes things easier. Then, I drag my background music straight onto the timeline. After that, I crop it down, add a fade out at the end, and lower the volume so it's not too loud. From there, I just tweak it a bit and make sure the fade out and overall audio flow sound nice and smooth. So, from here, start dragging all your clips onto the timeline in the same order you created them. That part's important, just keeps everything flowing the way it should. Once that's set, tweak your background music so it lines up perfectly with your clips. You don't want it cutting off early or playing after the video ends. Now, here's a little shortcut. Just hit Ctrl-A to select all your clips at once. Then, go into the audio settings, lower the volume for everything, and add a fade in and fade out. The reason I do it like this is simple. It saves time and keeps all your audio sounding consistent across the whole video. Once I've done that, I like to zoom in on the timeline using the magnifying tool. It just stretches everything out so I can see exactly what I'm working with. Then I go through, trim or crop any clips if I spot little distortions, and just play it back to see how everything looks. Now, most of the time, K-Dream already does most of the heavy lifting. The clips usually come out clean and synced, so you don't really need to add transitions. At this point, I'm really just playing around with the timeline, making sure the clip audio and the background music balance well and don't clash or feel messy. Once it all sounds good, just preview the whole thing, and if you like how it looks, go ahead and export your final video.
Okay.
You have big hands.
Even you? Is that a bear?
I can see that, Gerald.
Cool.
Do you mind if I sit? Do you actually like honey, or is that just a stereotype? You just gotta be patient. He just did that with his hand.
To the bear! Just call me Bear.